What is going on, Hive Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about an important topic: the importance of water when utilizing intermittent fasting. Now, we're going to take it to the basics, just simply water, and why this is one of, if not the best instrument that you can use when you're actually in your fasted state and you're trying to do things like suppressing hunger. I'm going to go ahead and break it down in this video. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and talk about water while intermittent fasting. It's simple. There's no calories. There's nothing in it. It's just liquid. It's just H2O, and you drink it and there's just nothing to it. But let me break it down a little bit more than that. Yes, I'm going to keep it pretty basic, but I'll break it down and explain why this is such a powerful tool. Now, of course, there's a consensus that water is super important. And before anyone out there that talks about, oh wait, but you can't drink too much water, that's a no-no. You could drink a lot of water per day, up to about 6 gallons per day without feeling any negative effects. Now, if you go above 6 gallons per day, maybe into the 8-gallon range, I believe up to 7.3 gallons, you'll be okay. But if you go into the 8 or 9-gallon range per day, then that's when it starts to put you into that possible hyponatremia, where you're releasing the sodium that's inside of your body, and then it can have actually detrimental effects to your brain cell. But that's when you get to the 8-gallon per day range. Now, for example, this bottle here, which is my favorite water bottle from a company called The Coldest, and it's only 21 ounces. But if you want to carry more water, you can get something like the 1-gallon bottle, which of course won't fit in your cup holder, but it's convenient because you don't have to constantly refill it. You'll just be drinking out of that bottle throughout the course of the day. So before I even explain any of that stuff, I just want you to understand, yeah, there is a threshold of drinking too much water that can put you into a water toxicity, because it's flushing out electrolytes. But that's a large amount that's pretty alarming. You have to drink up to 8 gallons for that to take place in your body. And you have to consistently do this, so it's not very easy to do. So the rule of thumb still applies. Drink as much water as you can throughout the day, but don't drink to the point where you're incredibly uncomfortable from drinking an excess amount of water that's just making you almost vomit because you're force feeding yourself water. It's very hard to get to that point. So before I jump into the science of hot water versus cold water, which you're going to definitely want to understand which one is better, this company, The Coldest Water, is a proud sponsor, and I'm a proud advocate for this water bottle because it has a claim of 36 hours. So keeping your water cold from the initial pour with the ice for 36 hours. And that is impressive because even all of the bottles that I've seen out there, they keep your water cold for up to 24 hours, which is already convenient in and of itself because it's 24 hours. It's the whole day. But if you wanted to not even think about if your water is cold or not, this is the only water bottle that I know that can do that. This surpasses the 24-hour limit. So that was incredibly impressive for me. And this was actually named the best bottle by a lot of different sites and sources like Men's Health and Business Insider because of that insane number of 36 hours. Now, I've actually seen this bottle stay cold within room temperature areas for more than 36 hours, but there has been variations, but definitely 36 hours is a true claim. Also has a no sweat technology, so it doesn't, no matter how cold it is inside of the water bottle, the outside of the water bottle doesn't get that condensation and starts to do that sweating thing, so it makes the whole bottle wet because it's so cold. It actually contains all of that cold inside. It's actually very misleading when you grab the water bottle. You grab it, it's kind of maybe lukewarm. You drink it and it's freezing cold. The ice just stays inside there and doesn't melt for an incredible amount of time. But that's besides the point. Yes, they're my sponsors, and I'm super proud to have a company as minimalistic and as basic as a water bottle to have as my sponsor, because it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for me. It makes perfect sense even for you guys if you wanted to get a water bottle that lasts really long in terms of it being cold. Now, what's better, hot or cold? Now, keep in mind, even though this company's called the coldest water, it does keep your water hot for a long time too. I believe up to 13 hours hot. So if you wanted hot water, if you wanted cold water, there you go. Now, most people don't drink just plain old hot water. They utilize hot water to be able to pour it into a cup and make tea. So you'll probably carry around hot water so you can make tea, etc. But some people actually do like to drink hot water because there's a soothing element to hot water. There's a refreshing element to cold water. Now, all the studies that they've done on this, looking at temperature readings, cold water always wins out in terms of the performance athlete's satisfaction. And one of the main reasons for this is because your body gets hot during high or intense activity, or when you're working out, doing cardio, etc. This then brings in that chill feeling, and it's just becomes more palatable because of that. As opposed to drinking hot water when you're performing at a high level, it's just more palatable for you. So because it's more palatable, you tend to drink more. And the most important thing is hydration. You want to be hydrated. Are there benefits to hot water? Yes, there are benefits to hot water. When you're sick, when you have a cold, those things, hot water helps you with that. But when you're performing, when you're doing athletic stuff, cold water is definitely on top. They even did a study in the 1980s using the US Army, and they noticed that they always chose cold water over hot water. But in terms of feeling full, because the point of water when you're intermittent fasting is not only that it's hydrating you and you're making sure that you're keeping yourself hydrated during the times that you're fasting because you're not eating. And remember, food carries hydration, so it's important to drink water when you're in your fasted state. But it also fills your stomach, so it can suppress hunger naturally without having to have an appetite suppressant. Just the fact that it's filling your body up or filling your stomach up with water could suppress hunger. A lot of people look at the cues of their bodies incorrectly and think that they're being cued to eat, or there's a hunger cue. Oh, I think I feel hungry. Usually this is when it's out of the normal time of eating, and then they end up eating, which causes a habit to eat a little bit more than they normally do. A lot of times this hunger pang or this cue to eat is actually just you being thirsty. So a nice bottle of cold water would completely eliminate that. And then you'll notice, oh, I really wasn't hungry. This is one of the things that helps you immensely when you're starting intermittent fasting for the first time, or you're coming back into intermittent fasting and it's really difficult for you to stick to it because you've created these new habits where you're eating all the time. This actually helps suppress your hunger. Now, hot water and cold water can do that for you. There isn't a difference between the two, but based on most of the studies, it is more satisfying for you to drink cold water, which makes it more likely that you would drink cold water and utilize that as a tool, especially when you're doing intermittent fasting. Now, which one burns more calories? It's actually a non-significant amount in terms of hot water or cold water. Cold water burns more calories. Yes, it does. And let me explain something, because sometimes a lot of people misunderstand how burning calories works. The more cold your body has to deal with, the more it will burn. The more heat your body deals with, the less it will burn. It doesn't have to burn so much because our standard body temperature is around 98.5 degrees. So if your body is at 98.5 degrees, it's fine. It won't burn calories to get to 98.5 degrees. If you drink cold water, you'll reduce that internal temperature slightly, and then your body has to burn calories to get to that 98.5 degree or 99 degree temperature. So for your body to do that, it burns about 8 calories more with cold water versus hot water. Now, that's not a significant number, but over time, it can be a significant number if you're drinking more cold water than you are hot water. Also, studies have shown that people feel more energetic when they're drinking cold water as opposed to hot water. So overall, the studies have shown that in terms of feeling satisfied, both are the same in terms of feeling full and having your body feel full. There's nothing different between the two. In terms of being more palatable, cold water. In terms of being more refreshing, cold water. In terms of what you want to utilize for energetic purposes to make you feel better in your workout and even after your workout, is cold water. So water is the best peace of mind when it comes to intermittent fasting, in my humble opinion. Now, you could drink seltzer water, you can drink regular water. If you're gonna drink regular water, I do recommend cold water, simply because of the refreshing aspect and the palatable aspect, because it makes it easier for you to come back to it, keep drinking it. But water gives you the most peace of mind because there's no additives at all. It's simply water. No calories, it doesn't contain any energy source, nothing. It doesn't disrupt your fast at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Yes, water is super important when fasting. Is my favorite appetite suppressant tool when intermittent fasting, versus all these other things that people use like coffee, apple cider vinegar. Those things are great, those things are good, those things are fine, but you can't beat the ease of use and the accessibility of water. With the times that we're in right now, with the whole COVID-19 and being stuck at home and being quarantined, or even if you have to go out, I definitely recommend getting a water bottle, because buying water bottles is pretty iffy right now. This COVID-19 is extremely transmittable. So I would highly recommend having your own water, pouring your own water into your water bottle, either from tap water or filtered water or water that you have at home, to minimize the risk. And then, of course, not letting anyone touch your water bottle and keeping it with you and being able to drink water from there. If you want your own The Coldest water, I will have my link down in the description below. They also have a giveaway that will be linked down below for the 1 gallon version of the coldest water bottle, which is super cool. That's basically the water that will last you throughout the day. But don't forget to use the promo code FLEDGE, just FLEDGE, because it will give you 10% off the bottle. Whenever you purchase, it'll give you 10% off. So that's basically an easy to use free discount. The Coldest water, highly recommended. I'm proudly an advocate for this water. 36 plus hours cold is just ridiculous. That's more than a day. That's insane. So if you want to go ahead and cop yours, link will be down in the description. And of course, as always, guys, I will go ahead and put my patrons for my Patreon right up here. And of course, as always, guys, I'll see you on Sunday for another FAQ. Peace!